Hey, we're two Star Wars nerds, and we have another Star Wars wisdom talk today. We've been going through the Clone Wars in chronological order by arcs, and there's a lot of great quotes.
Yeah, there is.
And we're going to go over this one right here. And this quote says, "It is a rough road that leads to the heights of greatness." I have quite a few thoughts on this in terms of excellence and expectation and different things in our life. But why don't you start us off just with your thoughts about this?
What this quote reminds me of is that anything that's worth doing is going to be hard. It's going to be a rough road because you have to work towards it. If it's just handed to you, it's not really that great. To be honest. So that's the first thing that kind of comes to my mind is like, if it's something that's worth doing, it's going to be hard work, but you have to keep that purpose of why you're doing it during that process, during that rough road, during that journey. If you know why you're doing it, you're going to be willing to go through whatever you have to go through to get there and to get that heights of greatness.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think what you even touched on is so important with this idea of inheritance versus this idea of building. Because there's nothing inherently wrong about an inheritance, but it is you're getting something that you didn't have to pay for, that you didn't have to work for. And the hard part about inheritance is how do you steward that?
Right.
And then once you get into like, what are you going to leave behind? Are you going to honor what was given to you? But exactly what you're talking about. The only way you get an inheritance like that is because someone else worked for it.
Yep.
And, our job in particular, we work with teenagers. We actually do work at a church, and we work with teenagers literally all day, every day. And so we've seen this shift in people over, I don't know, maybe the 10 years that we've been doing it, where people have moved just kind of almost into this realm of just expecting things. Like, hey, and let's just talk about social media. Hey, I posted a video. Like, why do I not have 100,000 subscribers already? Or it'll be like, hey, I just picked up a guitar. Like, why can I not like shred and solo and have an album come out?
Right.
And it's not everybody, but there's this realization that slowly takes place where it's like, it takes a lot of hard work to get to that place.
Right.
And, we see it in Clone Wars. In particular, this is from a Ryloth arc. And so you even see with blockades and with ground assaults and space battles, all the way down to taking over a capital again that has been infiltrated and taken over. And so even what's interesting is that path to like a restoration is a very rough road, and it's very hard to get there.
Yep.
And it's going to be some of the most trying things you've ever done. And what do you think like maybe some words of encouragement are for people that find themselves either at the beginning of that rough road or they're in the middle of it and they're like, I want to give up,
I think the best words of encouragement I can give is don't give up, keep pursuing, keep pushing, and just hold on to why you're doing it. Because if you lose focus of why you're doing something, it's easy to stop doing it. But if you have a strong purpose, you know what your purpose is, and you're willing to fight for it, it'll get you through anything.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think that idea of greatness too is even important to define in giving up and knowing why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing, if you're just like, hey, I'm just doing something to have fun, once it gets hard and rocky,
I'm out.
Peace out. I was doing this for comfort.
Right.
But if there's something where like I want to grow myself in this area, even thinking about the way your body works, like you have to tear muscle before it can be rebuilt stronger. And
you have to be consistent. Like consistency is so important too.
Yeah.
In everything that we do.
Exactly. You can't just be like, hey, I worked out once last year. Like, why am I not ripped? Like you have to be so diligent at it, and there's so many other factors.
Right.
But I think it's important too, through that lens of your purpose, figuring out the why. Like, this is why I'm doing things, and this is how I do it, and this is what I do. There's this sphere of how you work in things.
Yeah.
But figuring out, okay, once you know the why, everything gets filtered through that, like you said. And it's like, is this a good thing or is this a great thing?
Right.
And so it's figuring out, where do things settle into that? Because I think part of the rough road is letting go of things that are good for something that's great.
Yep.
And having to realize, like, there's not something wrong with what I'm letting go.
There's just something better.
Yeah, I don't have the capacity to hold this great thing with all these other good things at the same time.
Right.
That's painful.
Yeah.
That's very, very painful to do. I think, just wrapping it up, for my encouragement for somebody, I'm going to think, maybe, I think you touched that person on the road, but maybe that person who's yet to go because it looks really rough. The biggest thing I've thought of is I've had jobs in my life where I've worked with people. This is back when I was like 18, 19, 20 years old. I would work with people who were 3, 4 times my age sometimes, and, they knew what they wanted to do, and there's nothing wrong with that. They worked very honorably for a very long time, but there was something in me that wanted something different. And it's like, I almost envied people where it's like, I could just be here forever and be content. Right. But there's something in me where it's like, I want to do something different. Like, I just feel like my heart's being pulled somewhere else. And so for that person who's like, it seems really intimidating, and maybe it's an age thing, maybe it's a finance thing, maybe it's just, you just don't feel adequate, just start. Like, if you like these videos at all, go back and like watch like our first videos and listen to the audio quality, and just like it's not that great, to be honest with you, but it's like, we started. And
you have to start somewhere.
The message hasn't really changed, just the quality and the technology has. And for us, there's so many things we've done where it's like, we've just had to jump in and figure it out.
It's the best way to learn.
Yeah. I used to suffer from something called paralysis by analysis. I would want to analyze everything, and then you taught me, it's like, hey, the road's going to be rough. Let's just run at it.
Let's do it.
And figure it out. Yep.
But
hey, we love doing these Star Wars wisdom talks. Hopefully this can use this world created of Star Wars that we all are connected through. And hopefully this can be just a gateway into actually like changing your Monday through Friday, to changing your day-to-day life. Right. And actually have an impact on you. But let us know in the comments what you think about this quote, and it always honestly helps. If you like the video and comment and subscribe, it's free to subscribe. It seriously is. And it does help, because then other people can hear the same message. If it meant something to you, go ahead and like that. And even if you didn't like, if you're like, this sucks, hit the dislike, because, that helps us know that you don't like it. But hey, with that, we are 2 Star Wars nerds, and may the Force be with you always.